Hello, friendos. It's me, Wolfer, here, and I'm here to talk to you guys about some mental blocks, or in my opinion, it's mostly pride, but mostly mental blocks that can come into play and stop you from being able to be a super amazing player that you potentially can be. And one of these that is a very obvious one is whenever someone says a tactic or something is lame. Now, I'm a very big proponent of saying QR stealth jump is for stupid poopy heads, and it sucks. But the thing is, it's there for a reason. It's got a good purpose to it. So by just sitting here saying it's lame doesn't change the fact that it's good. You know. So by me just pigeonholing myself to using a certain set or something like that really makes it hard for me to maximize my top level of play because I'm constantly saying, okay, I'm not allowed to do this, I'm not allowed to do that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm basically limiting myself. And that's something that you don't want to be doing very often or at all if you can help it, because limiting yourself in any game is just a uh, bad idea in general. So that's not something you want to do. And so basically, um, it's something that usually comes from an internal struggle. It's like a prideful thing because, everything about you are like, I shouldn't have to kill them through being lame and using these whatever. But it's like, if it gives you the victory, it doesn't matter. And that's where the real struggle comes into play with some players, is because they feel that they have to be a certain way or play a certain way to appease the masses. But the thing is it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's the victory that's going to determine how good you are. Someone may be kind of mediocre overall with a weapon, but if they're smart with how they play by waiting for another enemy that they know is going to be impatient and make a wrong move, why should that person go forward and risk their position when um, it's smarter to just wait for the other guy to make a misstep. And that part's kind of tough to get across sometimes, because personally, I'm a very aggressive player. I don't really like hanging back, but it's very good, regardless of what kind of player you are, to understand the push-pull relationship of when you're fighting someone else, because you want to give them an idea that they can kill you, but at the same time you want to be safe enough that they can't actually kill you. And that's kind of hard. And sometimes the answer is just as simple as walking up to the person and shooting them. And sometimes the answer is a little bit more convoluted when it's a 1v1, where you might just want to sit still a minute and wait for them to come to you. And it all depends on the situation and your experience in playing the game, what you should do. Like right there, when you saw me come up the ramp, um, I just went up the ramp thinking, okay, well, they should be coming up their ramp at more or less the same time as me. Unfortunately for me, there was ink on the right side of me, so they were able to pop in and just kill me. And then there, for instance, instead of just chasing him blindly into his area, I just kept zoning him from the corners and just forced him to leave, basically, or die. So you want to keep trying to create those scenarios. Like, this was a really good scenario for this guy, where he forced me to run with the bomb rush, and then he just chased me down, and I wasn't able to respond because I was trying to not die to the bomb rush. And different things like that can create different scenarios. And here, for instance, I unfortunately got beat here because his inkling went a little bit further than I anticipated. But right before then, I pre-fired knowing that he was going to be right there, and I did at least get one shot on him. So various things like that can help. And then here, he's no longer there, and I was able to kill his friend because he wasn't even looking at me. So it's just kind of being aware of what you can and can't do in your situation. That all depends on your weapon, depends on what you're willing to do, and stuff like that. And it's a good idea to keep yourself open and adaptable as possible if you actually want to get good. And if you don't want to be, just, at that point, at least recognize the fact that you're not willing to adapt and not force yourself and get upset at yourself because you're not playing perfectly. Because the thing is this game forces you to adapt constantly. And if you're a good player, you will be adapting constantly to your opponent. And a good player will find situations where they're at a good advantage most of the time, and they're going to try to play in that situation. But another good player will find ways around that, and it's just this ongoing thing that just lasts forever. It's basically the concept of neutral, but if you limit yourself in neutral, someone might find a solution against you, and because you refuse to change your playstyle or adapt to what they're doing, you're going to end up falling behind because you won't be able to keep up with them, and that's no bueno. So just try not to be prideful, I guess, is the moral of this video. Try to just learn as much as you can and find a solution. If it's boring, whatever, that's okay, as long as you have a solution, and in the end, that's what will matter. So I guess I'll catch you at the next video, but don't be too hard on yourself. Keep learning.